I'm so proud of this week's guest and so excited about the conversation we're about to have. I have foster carer Julie with me in the building, and we're going to speak about all the amazing work Brent Council and the foster care community does to help support young people. Hi Julie, lovely to have you here.
Hi, it's lovely to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time on a Sunday right before Christmas. Really appreciate it. Now, I know that, being a foster carer, foster parent even, is such amazing, kind of rewarding and challenging work. Could you please start us off by telling me a little bit around what sparked your initial interest in fostering and why you chose to pursue it, essentially?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, fostering is where you look after the vulnerable children that can't be at home for whatever reason. There's so many reasons.
So many reasons.
They might not have a home, but they need a home. And fostering allows you to look
bridge
after
that gap.
The children. Absolutely. So my husband and I, we thought for a long time about fostering. My husband was adopted as a baby, so it was something that we talked about right from when we first met, potentially fostering, and it is something that we that we always wanted to do. Never quite seemed the right time, and we thought it's never going to be the right time, so let's just go for it. We've got 2 daughters ourselves, so we talked to them a lot about it, and we just decided that to go for it. There was nothing else to keep waiting for. We had the spare room in our house, which is basically what you need.
Right. So a little bit of space, right? And a lot of love. A little bit of space and a lot of love. Absolutely. Yeah. And you said you spoke to your daughters about this. How did your kind of daughters, extended family, friends react when you told them of your intentions to become involved with this world? Because it is a huge commitment, and if you do it right, it's hopefully a long-term commitment as much as possible. Yeah. Did you inspire anyone else in the family to be involved, and what were the reactions like? The first reactions? We spoke with our daughters. They obviously you don't really know what it's going to be like until you start doing it. You can think about what it'd be like. You can think about what it's like having a baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like 9 months in the belly, and you have no idea.
But that you don't know.
Sure. Right. Of course.
Yeah. So, but everyone was always very supportive right from when we first started talking about it. The girls, our girls were on board right from the very, very beginning.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It was something that they were happy to do. My family were very supportive. We went through the whole assessment process, which is
thorough.
Yes.
And it needs to be.
It has to be. You are safeguarding vulnerable children. When it comes down to it, that is, they've got to make sure.
And you're responsible for their lives at that certain point.
That's it, absolutely. And they need to make sure that you are a safe home and you are going to provide for vulnerable children. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. Since fostering, my sister and her partner are also fostering for Brent now. My sister Sam, who's hopefully listening.
Hi Sam. Shout out to you.
Yay. So they are foster carers now for Brent as well.
Wow, so, amazing. Yeah. This is my favorite kind of snowball effect when, good deeds multiply and people see the worth and the rewarding work probably from watching you and your journey and being so close, I'm sure, as you are with your sister. It's great that you've inspired her and hopefully many more who are listening in. So, big kudos to you. That's amazing. How would you say that being a foster parent or carer has shaped and changed kind of not only you but also the trajectory of your life? Has it taken you on a different path than you would have otherwise gone on?
I think it really has. Yeah, definitely. It's made all of us as a family a lot more open, a lot closer, a lot more empathetic to everyone's needs.
Wow.
So basically my whole life is about fostering.
Wow.
I'm really very passionate about it. Very passionate about. I will talk to anyone about fostering and what I do. People in the street will, if you have
conversations and things that happen, you kind of recruitment drive.
Yeah,
I love it.
Absolutely, it's such an important job that we do, and it's a lot of people don't really realise that it's even out there and that you can do it, but It's so important. So yeah, I would say it's definitely changed the trajectory of my life, because I was working in a whole different industry, but now, like I say, my whole life is really around fostering.
How has it changed you personally as a person?
It's definitely made me more laid back.
Why? Because you can't control certain things?
I think so. I think you just... You can't control everything. You have to just go with the flow. You're having other people's children in your home, and they don't know what to expect. You don't know what to expect when
someone comes into
your house. We have basic house rules. We have basic
boundaries, as you would as a parent, as you need.
Absolutely, and they are the same for whatever child comes into our house. But we definitely try to be more laid back and go with the flow, because we don't do discipline, shouting.
Also, the needs of a foster child, it's probably going to be one of love and compassion and empathy more than you would kind of maybe your own children in some circumstances, because they've come from a more difficult playing field, and you've got to almost level the playing field and promote some level of equity so they can go out into the world strong and resilient to the outside world, which is tough enough.
Absolutely. I mean, boundaries, consistency, love, that is what...
A lot of hugs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Of course, we all need those.
And making sure that there's food in the fridge, and just basic things that people don't realise
can mean the world.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. And could you tell me then, for anyone listening and who might be interested in what the process looks like, and you said it was quite thorough, the assessment was thorough, people are often held back by the application and the assessment. We've touched upon how necessary it is, and I'm sure a lot of people can agree on that. Could you just give me a brief overview of what that, from the start to the end until the young person comes into your home, that looks like, and how long it took?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started off with a phone call to Brent, and we went along to an information evening, and we just took it from there, really. So it is an assessment. It does take... it takes about 4 to 6 months, really, depending on how many people that you need to, on how many people in your family that they need to talk to as well. They will need to talk to your children, to your relatives, to any.
It's like CA.
Yeah,
it's great. I love it. This is like the whole cohort.
It really is. Yeah, they will talk to any regular visitors to your house. They'll do an employment check, a health check, a DBS check, to make sure that you are a safe environment for the child to come to. They will delve into your background. They will ask you about your childhood. They will talk to ex-partners if you have an ex-partner.
Sure.
It can be intrusive, but it is for the absolute best reasons. And actually, my husband loved it. He found it very cathartic. He
probably learned a lot about each other, of course, as well.
Definitely.
What have you been in the summer of 19 something? I mean, that's great. But thank you for also pointing out that probably it is challenging and intrusive in some sense, because that's the reality, and we have to be honest about those things, but also for the best possible reason, which is kind of getting to that end goal and getting that young person into the house and giving them a lot of love and growing with them, which is great. Sorry, how long did you say that took all in all?
So it takes about 4 to 6 months.
Okay, I mean that's totally fair enough.
You have a panel at the end where you sit in front of a group of people.
Great.
They've read all your documents.
They know all about you.
Yeah,
they know you better than you know yourself.
Yeah, sometimes, and and then we got approved, and it wasn't too much longer before our first child came to us.
Beautiful. Oh my goodness, amazing. Now, when I was looking into research for this, I found out a lot of information around the community available for foster carers. Even speaking to Catalina, I found out a lot about the support system and the structures that are available, both emotionally and financially, for foster parents. Could you please talk a little bit around your experience with Brent Council fostering in terms of the community they've provided for you and your family, and how instrumental that community has become in terms of supporting your journey as you go on being a foster carer.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were allocated our supervising social worker once we were approved. Tamiko is our social worker. She has been an amazing support for our whole family ever since we first started. She's always there for help, advice, support, just a chat, whatever,
anything you might need,
whatever we need. Sure. She's always there, and all of the supervising social workers, all the foster carers I know, all the supervising social workers are a fantastic support. Obviously, we've got everyone in Brent that is a wonderful support that we can call on anytime we need. There are monthly support groups where all foster carers can get together. They've been virtual since March because we can't all be together.
Sure.
We have
how useful is the kind of foster carer support group? That's interesting.
I mean, you get to talk to other foster carers because although you can talk to people that don't know about fostering,
it's like having a child without having just like a mum's group, right? You need to speak the same language.
Absolutely, it's a different thing. So being able to talk to people that do the same thing as you, and it's really invaluable.
Sure.
So we have the support groups. Brent provide fantastic training in all different aspects, in different ways to help us understand the challenges that some of the children might
Could you give me an example of a training possible? I'm just curious. That sounds great.
I mean, there is like the basic training. We have like safeguarding.
Sure.
We've got child sexual exploitation.
Sure.
My mind has gone blank. Managing challenging behaviour.
Wow, and that's really important because, the reality is a lot of the young people that are coming into the home are going to be coming from probably a difficult background, not a pleasant scenario to come into a stranger's home for anybody. And so you have to manage their emotional needs a lot, and nobody is a therapist, right? You almost need to kind of learn how to deal with certain things and have open communication, I'm sure, in the house.
And the reasons that they're presenting the behaviour that they come with is not just that they're naughty children. They have a background of something that we can't understand, and they're not always ready to talk about it straight away.
So just kind of giving them the time to open up and feel comfortable, and it is just such amazing, rewarding work, I'm sure, and one you need a lot of patience for. And we are back in conversation with Julie and Brent Council. Before the break, we were speaking to Julie about the process in fostering and how it has changed her life. Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? Are you feeling good?
Yeah.
Still with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Love to hear it. Now, I know there's a lot of kind of misconceptions around the kind of profile you need to fit in order to become a foster carer. Some people think they need to have a huge house, have a lot of space, have a lot of funds in order to sustain themselves and the young person or young people. In your experience, what do you feel that young people need the most, and what kind of support is available by Brent Council?
Anyone can foster. I would just say that straight away. I mean, obviously, you've got to be over 21. You've got to be able to stay in the country indefinitely.
Sure.
But apart from that, you can be gay, straight, single, married, living together.
Whatever your situation.
Yeah, children, no children, work, don't work. It's completely open to everyone.
Wow.
And really you've just got to be inclusive of, and have no issues with, because any child could come to you. So as long as,
you're open-minded about the kind of child that comes your way, it's the love and the space, as we repeated last time.
That is what you need. You need a spare room, or if you want to foster babies, you need room in your bedroom for a cot. You don't have to have a spare room if you want to foster just babies up to 2 years old.
Okay.
But otherwise, you just need a room
and a lot of love
in your heart.
That's it.
Absolutely.
If Brent Council want to take that gem, it's all theirs, by the way. Like letting them know right now. Great, thank you so much. And what kind of support is available by Brent Council?
So we have the support groups. We have the training.
Everything we mentioned before.
Yeah, absolutely. The living costs of the children are
covered as well.
Covered by Brent. Yeah. Sure. So I mean, you don't have to worry
about finance, because that is also a real life element that we should speak about. You know, not everybody feels like they have the funds, but if that financial element is covered, it really is that space and that love that is needed, which is
absolutely
great. And could you talk about then the 3 characteristics in your experience that a foster carer needs to have? Because we speak about kind of love and space, and that's great, but what is the kind of personality traits that in your mind you have, that the people in the support group have, where people can recognize themselves in this conversation? I kind of want to bring that out as well.
Yeah. I think you've got to be really understanding.
Sure, absolutely.
Is one thing. You've got to be understanding. You've got to be inclusive and flexible around, because you're definitely flexible is a very important one.
Sure.
But really, anyone can do it. I think you've got to come in with no preconceptions about the children that are going to come to you. You've got to have no preconceptions about how you are going to feel when the child comes to you. You've got to be open-minded, laid back, inclusive and flexible. I know that's 4,
but that's an important 4. Usually I wouldn't let my guests have it, but you could absolutely have that. 100%. Then absolutely. Thank you so much. That's really useful. So just because people who do have open minds hopefully are spurred on by this conversation to visit the Brent Council website and just see what that information looks like and how they could get involved if they feel like they are interested. To that point, how many children have you looked after, and what impact do you feel like you've had on changing their lives? Because previously we spoke about how they changed your life.
Yeah.
I kind of want to know what you feel like you've done for them and how that relationship has been.
Okay, so we have fostered 5 children.
Wow.
Since we were approved just over 5 years ago. I would hope that I brought some stability to their lives, and I think that is really the main thing. Some stability, some love, showing them what I don't want to say what a family is like, right. and how we all interact together and be kind. And even if they might not have learned any lessons at that time, I would hope that even when they're grown up, they would be able to look back at the time that they were with us and
say what a warm moment that I needed, maybe that I didn't know, and I'm now older. Absolutely. And that's the challenging part, I think, for you. You're not always going to get your flowers at that moment in time, but you do it anyway.
That's it. You might not get any love or understanding or even
appreciation even, right, sometimes.
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't sit there thinking that you're going to have grateful grateful children all the time, that's not how it works. But I that's all I can hope for, is that in the future they will look back and be happy with the time that they spent with us.
Beautiful. I mean, again, such amazing, rewarding work, and thank you to you and also Brent Council for taking the time today to talk to us. Could you tell me a little bit then around any advice you have for anyone who is listening in, who might be thinking about getting into fostering but hasn't quite mustered up the courage to apply? Do you have any advice of how to operate, what to do?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I would say go for it. There is there's no perfect time to do it. So if you're thinking about it, you can go on the Brent website and read some stories, contact Brent through there and attend an information evening, start getting some more information, and really just don't wait, go for it. We need foster carers. There's a lot of vulnerable children that need a home, and if you're thinking about it, at least start the conversation.
You heard her here, folks. Get involved, get started, start making your inquiries. It's so important that we at least try and provide some level of safe space for these young children who really do need it, especially in these times, Christmas time as well as Corona. There's a lot going on, and if someone does want to then be involved, what links would they need to know about?
The best thing to do is to go onto the Brent website. So it's brent.gov.uk/fostering.
Beautiful.
And the phone number will be on there, all the contact details. You can click to attend an information evening.
Sure.
Or give them a call and get all the information that you need. The number that you'd need to call is 0800 001 4041.
Amazing. And just to repeat that web URL again, that is brent.gov.uk/fostering. And the number is 0800 001 4041. Julie, it has been such a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so, so much. Can I just say, just a little kind of message of upliftment for anyone listening in here? If coronavirus has taught us anything, it's that we all need each other. Community is very, very important. And the work that Brent Council continues to do and people like you, Julie, continue to do are just amazing to me, and I am really astounded by your courage and your bravery and the love that you have to give. So thank you so much.
It's
really special.